Hey guys, so everything is going to change. So everything has changed from me since I made that first video back in 2016, going down the back lane in my parents' house back in the UK. So this is kind of the topic I'd like to touch upon. The idea that everything is shifting, we're going through this kind of socio-economic collapse. The apocalypse is coming. So guys, I want this to be a positive video because, as you know, I'm all about positive thinking, not avoiding the shadow, but I'm always about positive thinking, you know, creating our reality, not focusing on the negative unnecessarily. However, I feel this is necessary to talk about the apocalypse, the coming shift, the coming change. So in 2016, I made this video titled, "This October, Everything is Going to Change." Do you remember? It was the one with me with my head bobbing around like this, like, look, my head was floating down the road. And I talked about how, like, Bashar's prediction that everything was going to change, and so Donald Trump got into power, and I think that was a big shift. That's not what I really want to talk about, but I do feel there was a huge shift with, like, Donald Trump getting into power, because it was kind of like the falling away of the old guard. It was kind of like the crumbling of the old system. Like, I'm not a fan of Trump, by the way, but the point I wanted to get to was that I talked about this idea that everything is going to change in 2016, that we're going to enter a phase of total global economic collapse, total socio-economic collapse, something like this. So I know this sounds really negative, and, you know, in some ways it is. It's kind of scary, you know, a lot of people are going to suffer from this. It's inevitable. But the thing is, it kind of seems like inevitable and unavoidable. And like, we can't avoid this kind of socio-economic collapse, because we're shifting into this new consciousness, and all the systems that currently exist are kind of wired to the old consciousness, to an egocentric based society, and we're moving to a heart-centered unicentric society. Is that a good word? And so, like, all the old systems, as you probably know, you know, the financial systems, the governmental systems, they're kind of geared to working with this old system that kind of serves the few and not the whole, and blah, 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 blah. And whether you get into the conspiracies and they're really negative or not, the idea is that we're going through this huge transformation into a fourth density, fifth dimensional golden age. And it's going to be a completely different way of living. And those systems, the current financial systems, religious systems, economic systems, social systems, they're not really geared to deal with the new earth we're shifting into. And so I think this is why they're kind of collapsing. You know, a lot of people that organise these systems, they're still, like, kind of egocentric, kind of just trying to kind of serve themselves. So my point is that we are entering into the apocalypse. You know, it has been, I was watching David Wilcott last night. Don't recommend him because he's kind of too conspiracy, too negative based. I love him. He's a great teacher. That's why I still watch him sometimes. But he's like, you know, the 30 civilizations, 30 human civilizations over the past 1,000 years have said that there will be an apocalypse, and it will be horrific. So the idea is, apocalypse means the great revealing. This is actually the true translation of the original Latin meaning of apocalypse. And so this is what's happening. It's the veil is being lifted. We're realizing we're infinite multidimensional consciousness. We are souls having a human experience. And this isn't the end of our reality when our physical body dies. And so where was I going, guys? So yeah, and so the apocalypse is the revealing, the realization of this new consciousness. But the point is, as we shift to this new octave, this new frequency of consciousness, we begin to create our reality collectively very rapidly through the law of attraction as our frequency rises. And so the thing is, if people still have, like, negative beliefs, they're going to create a negative reality. And that's what's occurring, because we're now entering into a phase of human existence where we create our reality collectively, vibrationally. We've always done this, but now it's amplified, now it's rapid, now we can't avoid it happening. And so all these people that are still negatively oriented on Earth, which is actually quite a lot of people, is they're going to start creating negative vibrations, negative realities. And yeah, and this is what the apocalypse is. It's like the Great Awakening, but if we don't shift to a love light frequency, we will get negative reflections of this. And yeah, and it just seems that the current structures we have in our reality just can't support the system, can't support the shift. And so yeah, so I guess the point I wanted to get to, very long-windedly, this wouldn't work on TikTok, is that we seem to be going through this kind of apocalyptic shift into a new reality. Like, we've been talking about it for a long time. You know, I made this video in 2016 saying we're going to go through a total socio-economic collapse. And like I always try and focus on the positive. I want to create a positive reality, but I can't see any way around this. It's like it seems to be part of the natural transformation, and like I said in my original video, it is only positive because it's shifting into the new earth. And after we go through this transitional phase, it's going to be a little bit challenging, a little bit bumpy. We're going to start building the new systems. And so the point is that, like all of us, we need to be following our highest excitement. I don't want to tell you what to do, you know what I mean, it's up to you. But if you want to assist in the transformation of this planet and resolve the issue of the apocalypse, the way to do it is to follow your highest excitement, to live your passion, to live your mission, to live your calling. And then you are following your soul's guidance, your higher self's guidance, and you're carrying out the mission you agreed to carry out on Earth, to assist Earth through this transition phase. So I guess the most important part is like follow your excitement, follow your path, follow your calling, and know you'll be guided to play your part in this transformation into the new reality. And so what is it? How many years on? God, we're nearly 7 years on from when I made that video, and it's begun. Like, it's pretty obvious. I was thinking, like, I've been booking my flights like out of I'm going to Lima and then back to the UK in a month or so, and booking my flights, I was just thinking how complicated and what a nightmare it is flying these days, and like what a nightmare it would be like being in the aviation industry, and like how like we're going through this socio-economic collapse. Like we see it in many areas. Like I don't do I need to highlight the actual points where it's happening? But like, you know, religion is collapsing, governments are struggling. I mean, look at politics. Politics has gone completely insane. It's almost turned into a war. The monetary system is in, you know, I said there's going to be a big financial shift in 2016, and it hasn't happened quite how I expected, which isn't a surprise because I'm no genius. But it has happened. You know, the cost of living has doubled in the UK, so that's the equivalent of a 50% crash, really, into economic crash, if the cost of living has doubled. So, in fact, since 2016, it's probably more than doubled. And yeah, so we are entering into this phase in reality of total socio-economic collapse. Like, the old system is falling away. This is what I believe, this is what I understand is happening. The evidence is everywhere. Like, you can't really deny it anymore. And so the way out of this is that we are gods. We are creators of our reality. We are pure God consciousness in a physical form. And when we can create our reality magically, we can create our reality vibrationally. And when enough of us get together and begin to focus on creating a positive reality, we'll put out those vibrations into the atmosphere and we'll begin to create this new earth. And it is already birthing. You know, there's a lot of people working on these new systems, working on cryptocurrency, you know, working on all these new systems because people are following their path and their purpose. And so this is the shift, guys. It's only going to get more crazy, you know. I'd love to say it was going to calm down and I can just go back to my old life, just playing video games and but it ain't going to happen, guys. Like, this is the shift. This is the great apocalypse. This is the time that has been prophesized. This is the time that has been prophesied by the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians, by many societies for thousands of years, that it is going to be a time of great chaos, a time of great transformation. And if humanity doesn't learn to be more heart-centric, less egocentric, more service to others, more compassionate, more loving, more joyful, more blissful, and more connected to source, and more respectful of the divinity that is this reality, if we can't make that shift, it's going to be a very bumpy ride, guys. So pray. So yeah, guys, so I don't want to scare you, but like, we've got to get it together. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and like pretend this isn't happening, because this is happening and it's getting very real. So we've got to learn to take action, take massive action, as Mr. Robbins would say. So that's the video, guys. Follow your excitement, trust, understand that outer reality is going to get a lot more chaotic. Like, the people are going to begin to wake up. Socio-economic is going to collapse, is inevitable. Partly because as people wake up, they're going to realise they don't want to do their shitty jobs anymore. Oh shit, I swore. Now it's 9 minutes in the video. So I don't know if the YouTube algorithm likes swearing. Sorry, YouTube, it was only the S word. Anyway, so guys, so let's make the shift. Let's get aligned with our hearts. Let's get aligned with compassion. Let's understand that we can serve each other, and let's understand that if we can come together as a civilization and all learn to operate together out of love and light and compassion, we can make this a much smoother transition. And so this is the most epic time on Earth, in Earth's history ever, and one of the most epic times in the entire universe. So make the shift, follow your excitement. The apocalypse is coming. It's all good. The great revealing. Shivai.